Is this thing on? Who's in there?
What? What?
Anybody?
Hey, how dare you? I'm working
Hey,
on stuff.
What are
do
you
you
doing
want?
over there?
I'm doing
Are you talk-
stuff.
So is it that time again, man? Is that what we're doing?
Oh, probably.
Oh, fine. Let's do it. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, hey, what's happening? Welcome to another episode of Get Off My Lawn, featuring
my
myself,
lawn.
Al the Geek,
This thing
and
on?
who's this guy?
I'm Captain Xavier.
And thanks
At
for
least I
joining
hope
us
I am.
again. I hope so. You look like him, so you must be him.
I'm wearing his underwear, so it better be me.
Gotta be. Anyways, welcome everyone. If you haven't already, obviously we are on the World Foam Alliance YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Also, worldfoamalliance.org. Don't forget to go over and register. The more people register, the more that we can do for you. We'll probably end up talking about that as well today. Today, also, we do have another special guest. We were supposed to have Maritime Foam with us, but unfortunately, real life, real work, he is somewhere off in the wilds of Quebec shooting something, so he could not be there. However, lucky for us, we do have Andrew, aka Dart Sweep, who will be joining us today also. He'll be joining us probably in about 25, 30 minutes, and we'll be talking about gameplay and whatever else we want to talk about. Probably not Chelo's underwear, thankfully. But anyways, you never know what may happen. Also, remember, this is a call-in show. So we will be posting the phone number, and if you want to call in with any questions or comments, when you call in, we will give you about 3 minutes, and you can ask your questions, say what you want, and then we kick you off our lawn, or maybe we'll kick you off sooner. It depends how we feel. The other thing is
we may
do have a
continue
giveaway.
to talk about whatever you asked about.
We may do that. You will be off the lawn. My grass, I pay for it. Someone pays for it. Either way, whatever. You know it.
You wouldn't want to be on it anyway.
That's right. But also, there will be a giveaway. There's always a giveaway. And also,
always
just a disclaimer.
We like giving away free stuff.
We do. And I haven't forgotten about you. Just life is busy sometimes. And remember, I make it and I ship it to you. So it will come to you. Trust me. The advantage is today's blaster is already done. Now, as you know, we do have various shows. Obviously, Andrew, who will be on later with us, Dart Sweep, has his own show, Foam Zone, which is every other Wednesday. And usually it sits down just like a late night talk show format. But then also we have Captain Xavier. And Xavier, he has The Range, which also happens every other Thursday. And then every other Thursday after that is my own show, which is The Forge. And on The Forge, I make stuff. So this last episode, I finished this on The Forge. This is what we're giving away today. It will be given away later. You got to watch. There will be a catchphrase. Repost the catchphrase, and then we randomly select the winner. And you got to be watching. So when we do the draw, it's not like we'll contact you after. You actually got to be live in the show when we call out that you win. You got to be here. Sorry. Because I give away free stuff.
If you don't stay, you don't get the stuff. We had like 2 people that won that had wandered off last time. It was tragic.
It was. But as a result of it, we had our first international winner.
Yeah.
I have to ship it to the UK because it is World Foam Alliance. Remember that.
Foam Alliance.
I think I'm going to make this a thing. World Foam Alliance.
I'm leaving.
No, not yet. Anyways, dude, how you been, man? What's going on? It's only been what?
Wait, I heard good.
Yeah. I heard that you were invaded about a week and a half ago.
I had a bunch of strange old men show up at my house and eat my food and annoy my cat. Touched all my stuff. I'm still trying to clean up the mess. It was good. And Maritime Foam and Al the Geek came out to visit. It was pretty cool. We had our last public war at Fort Borst for the year. I hosted my last private event for the year, or at least my last war. I may do like mod parties or gaming nights or something. But they got to witness how we play here in the Pacific Northwest, and it was pretty cool.
Dude, and I got so much fun.
Last weekend, I traveled all over the Pacific Northwest to gather signatures for something that we're going to be giving away or raffling or auctioning. So that was fun. I got to go down to Out of Arts' warehouse, and they've started a new thing, apparently. They keep a running bin of stuff to give to Chelo should he stop by. and it's like switches and a bag of low quality XT30 connectors and a bunch of looms, 3D printed wheel setups. I don't know why, but I'm a shameless fan of free stuff, and especially out of darts free stuff.
That is awesome.
It's a good
free
problem
stuff.
to have.
You know,
So I went
it's
down
like you
to
spend a lot of money there that they got a
pick
bin
up an
for you.
order and ended up with a bag of stuff that I'm now sorting through. Yeah.
Oh my god! You know what? That's telling.
Currently upgrading
because,
some blasters. I got myself some Dianas, and I'm upgrading, putting some 3D printed kits on them. I think I like this one better. This was the first one I got, but this one has more features. Also updating my momentum, but I need to take it apart because I got a screw coming loose. Story of my life. How about you? What have you been up to, Al? I hear you went on a trip recently.
Surprisingly, I have for the first time in my life, I made it out to Seattle in the Pacific Northwest, and actually it was a lovely flight. And so, for all those that don't know, I live in Northern Virginia, just outside of DC, and Maritime Foam lives way out in the Maritimes of Canada. Yet, and his adventure to get to Captain Xavier's, we'll let him tell it, but man, I think it was like a triathlon. I think he actually swam at some point too. But we were actually both able to make it to SeaTac within 15 minutes of each other.
Yeah, it was handy. And then I was there to pick him up a few minutes later.
And then we
food and ran amok.
Oh, we ran such a muck. And then there's footage. We still got sorted out. But there's, when three grown men hit various Goodwills on our way in our adventure to find stuff, because, you always watch the Pacific Northwest and you all have everything and we have nothing in the East Coast. So we needed to see if it was true.
It was. I inflicted a Goodwill outlet upon them.
Oh, dear God.
I don't know what you're complaining about. I went to 2 that day.
Oh, my, you're kidding.
The other one is the nicer one. It's a bougier one. It's in the south of Seattle. I took you guys to the Tacoma one.
It was interesting and sketch all at the same time. The if you really want like Mortal Kombat or you don't fear the plague, just wait till they wheel out a bin and wade right in there and see what happens.
People get shanked. It's rough.
It was, but then also, yeah, man, we got to stay at the secret bunker that is Captain Xavier's place, and got to see and meet so many people. But then the private field that you got going on, dude, that is great. The way you got it set up, the way you have it running, I love it. It was so much fun. We did on Saturday, and then Sunday going to Fort Borst. I love it. I love the even when you come into the park, the whole sign for Fort Borst, I don't know, almost like a Jellystone Park feel, but obviously not Jellystone because it's Fort Borst, and just the play field and everything. It was a lot of fun. If you get a chance, or if you've been thinking about going out to some of the Panic events out there, yeah, do it. Go, especially in the area. Or if you want to fly out there, come on, it's Pacific Northwest. It's nice, man. Go. You might not be able to stay at Xavier's house. You need a secret password, but otherwise you can go out there and go to events.
Yeah. I've had big plans for my arena to improve it and add more features to it. It just, there was a plague, and so there wasn't much point. But now that I'm hosting events again, gonna improve it more. Again, figure out how to use more of the area, because right now, again, everything focuses right in the middle, and you're like, I've got 200 feet of playfield, and we use 20 of it. So we'll see how that works out. Speaking of the range, I haven't been able to film this week's range because it hasn't stopped raining.
Wow.
I might have to film an indoor range tonight and get it uploaded so that there is actually one for tomorrow.
Oh, that's probably a good idea. Yeah.
I can use my Dianas. Finally got the batteries for them. Amazon did me dirty. They sent me, I ordered 2 batteries for them, and one of them came completely drained. It wouldn't recharge.
Wow. So I've never had that happen.
Yeah, so I returned it and did what I should have done in the first place and bought a pair of batteries from Out of Darts.
This is why they got a bin for you, because you help keep them afloat. and they
I do
appreciate your
buy a
patronage.
lot of stuff. It's interesting. I buy a lot of stuff from Out of Darts, but they also give me just a ridiculous amount of stuff. It's the advantage of being friends with him and living only an hour away, and hosting events that he gets to come to and not have to deal with the public.
Yeah, this is very true. I can see him getting fanboyed a lot wherever he goes, or people ask
Less
him silly
fanboyed
questions.
and more angry customer, I would imagine.
Oh my, yeah. I've been
Out of
spared.
Darts has such amazing customer service. They don't have a lot of angry customers.
No. Oh, by the way, I guess in the meantime, if we can flash the number, this isn't technically a call-in show, so everybody wants to call and ask us a question. We'll probably take a phone call, but unless we're in the midst of our ramblings, you're gonna have to wait patiently. But we will answer your call. Trust me. It's just we're kind of old compared to most of you, so we go off and ramble about and things.
We're also both, I think, streaming from our phones in our respective shops, so we don't have access to the chat, which we should, but we're monkeys. I've got no excuse. I work in IT, but I don't have good internet in my shop. I don't have good internet in my house. I live in the middle of nowhere. 2027, we're supposed to get fiber.
Secret bunker. You can look. I do have a secret bunker.
I mean, it does. I may have to look into getting some sort of form of better satellite internet. I'm sure Starlink cannot fall out of the sky.
Also, if you're tuning in, don't forget to like and subscribe. As we're trying to grow the channel, the more we can do, the more people we can reach, the more the World Foam Alliance can do for so many other people. And we are only 20 away from 500 subscribers. So yeah, it'd be nice. Subscribe. Come on, do it. You subscribe to other random people you don't even watch. So now we should probably talk about something else, because we don't just sit here and
what should we talk about?
Something else. Well, I want to tell people that it's not just me and you sitting here rambling about stuff, or Andrew actually being professional. We are trying to organize something. So what's actually coming up in December is we are actually forming a charity drive.
Yep, for Toys for Tots. We're going to be doing a 24-hour live stream on December 9th and 10th. And it's going to be just about everybody in the hobby at this point. All the people from the Pacific Northwest, myself, Walcom, Flux, Luchathor, Out of Darts, Brandon Diaz. We're trying to get Brett in on it. We've got Archer from Women of Nerf. We've got, of course, Al the Geek, Maritime Foam, Dart Sweep. We've got Sir Scorp from Germany. We've got a fellow from the Netherlands whose name I can't even begin to pronounce. We've got people from Singapore.
Mods.
We've got Judd, the Aussie Nerf Cowboy, coming in. We've got Andy Work. We've got everyone's going to be on this stream. For us in the Pacific Northwest, we're actually having our Nerfs giving on the first day of it. And so we're all just going to stream from there. It's going to be just us eating turkey and eating and cranberry sauce and all that jazz. And answering chat and talking about Nerf. It'll be great.
I will not be having turkey. I'll be streaming from here. Now, if you're disappointed to find out, it's not just me, Chalo, and Andrew sitting on here for 24 hours as we fall half asleep. And it's like, hold on, let me go to the bathroom. No, where's other people? And but yeah. All right, hour 17. I don't know what we're talking about anymore. I got to pick my nose. No, it's going to be awesome because we have everybody else. You know what? I think we should actually maybe take a phone call because it's supposed to be a calling show.
Let's see if anyone wants to talk to us. I wouldn't want to talk to us, but I'm me. Who are you? What do you want?
Hello, my fellow Team Mega XXL members. It is I, Wolf.
Welcome
What's
back.
happening?
It's that one guy that keeps annoying Al for whatever reason. I don't know why. He's weird.
Nerve of some people's children.
Actually, you know what's funny
is
how Out of Darts has a box for you? I always have a box for him at my house. Stuff I don't want. I'm here, just take it. Get it out of here.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. All right, Wolf, what do you got, brother? Do you have any comments or questions?
I just wanted to say, Cap, every time I stare at your wall, I just keep staring at those bolters. And I have to know, are you for the Emperor or for the Emperor?
Pro Deo Imperatore.
My goodness.
The Emperor protects.
Someone call guys. All right, guys, we don't need to call the Inquisition. He's good. We're good. We're fine. Call off the custodian. We're good.
Good stuff. This one was given to me at Mall Madness. Just guy walked up and handed me this. We had discussed it before, but I had completely forgotten, and I will be doing a video about it soon because look at this thing. It's amazing. Like maybe that'll do for my
really
brain.
amazing.
I'll just do bolters.
Yes, I full-heartedly approve this message. I'm pretty sure the Emperor also agrees with the message, Cap.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Dude,
Also
he
noticed,
let me play with it.
Hey, Al,
Go ahead.
You must be a Punisher fan because of that shield, huh?
I don't know what you're talking about. Yes. Yes, I am a Punisher fan. It's funny because of politics and things where people have muddied the waters. It's like, are you? I say, no. Get your head straight. First thing, 48 years old. Second thing, Punisher fan since I was 15. Do the math. I knew about this before you even got your head out of your butt. So don't ask me silly questions and understand what the comic book is, and then you may address me. Otherwise, go away. Go away. Go away. But how do I really feel about this?
Yeah.
I guess the real
I think you're suppressing your emotions there, Al. You need to let loose once in a while.
That's what
Also,
bolters
you're hearing
are for,
the
Al.
children.
What else
That's
you got,
why we
Wolf?
use bolters.
That's right.
Well, I'm just curious to see, like, will the underdogs actually pull out another successful win at Maryland Mayhem? Because, we're the best underdog team of all time.
Hey, we managed to win a whole match. I was not expecting that. We did way better than I was
I don't
expecting.
think any of us were.
Yeah.
We had
I'm
your charisma.
still
we had your
disappointed
charisma
because we didn't get to quit early because you kept winning. Ridiculous.
Wolf, thanks, brother, as always.
Yeah, we're just that good. Have a good
Get
one.
Get off
off
my
my lawn.
Get out of here.
Quick one. You
What?
know who we forgot? And he's in the chat. In the chat is
In the chat, my good fellow. Who do we have in the chat?
Xbox Games sounded out. Yes, he will also be live streaming with us. Xbox.
Yes,
But I don't know.
Hey.
Wait a minute. He wants all kinds of promotion. First of all, you got his kid. Now talk about me and stuff like that. Thank God I love the man. He's a great people, so it's okay to push him this much. But yeah, Xbox Games, he'll be joining us as well. And you can get cool stuff. What cool stuff can you get?
Well, they've got kits for the Diana. They also sell all manner of blasters, 3D printing blasters. They got a lot of cool stuff. Check them out. I believe they're on Etsy. Don't quote me on that. Good,
Joe's also really good people. Got to meet him, and I played with him, and he's so much fun.
Yeah, he's good folk. He got the invite to the arena. You got to be good folk to get invited to my arena because I don't like dealing with not good folk in my own backyard.
No, nobody wants to deal with that. I tell you.
Yep.
All right, so we dip into the chat to see who we got in there and what people are asking and saying.
Yeah, what do we got? What's going on in the chat? Anybody saying anything in the chat? They talking smack? Talking smack?
Not too much. Let's see. General Cypher is working on his Lego City.
Nice.
We have agreements that Out of Darts customer service is second to none.
Yep.
Someone also told us that we cannot have bathroom breaks on our live stream.
What? Well, it's a good thing I don't plan to wear pants.
Well, catheters, man. Yeah, if you can ever avoid a catheter in life, trust me, avoid that. That's all I'm saying about that.
In medieval times, they made them out of glass.
Oh, that dude! I had a flexible one. Anyways, different kind of chat and stream. Yeah, no. Oh, but anyways, back to the live stream. So when we actually do the charity event, we will be auctioning off things. There will be, I think, a silent auction as well as raffles. So different creators will be providing stuff. Also, if you have something that you want to contribute to the live stream, that'll be auctioned off or for sale. You can actually email the World Foam Alliance. Let me get the email address here before I quote it wrong, unless you got it already. Yeah, don't get old, you forget stuff. But send it to WFA_team@worldfoamalliance.org. So again, WFA_team@worldfoamalliance.org. That's if you have any raffle prizes or sponsorship auction items that you want to send to us. For example, I will most likely be auctioning off probably some kind of large master key. It'd be kind of silly if I did not. So I'm going to be doing that. But then the other thing I'll probably do, and just because of shipping, unless someone wants to magically pay for it, most likely I will be probably making a set of shoulder pads that I will be auctioning off or raffling off. We haven't decided that yet. Unfortunately, shipping's a nightmare, so it'll probably only be the continental U.S. unless we get some kind of like magical donor that say, "Yeah, I'll pay for that. Send it wherever." Because just sending it from me to California is $160. Lord knows what it'd be to send it to Australia.
Yeah. I'm hoping if we can fit it in, I'm going to mod a blaster on the stream on Sunday, probably a Strife, and that will be raffled, auctioned, or what have you. So, yeah, there will be stuff. Given all the people we've got involved, we'll see how many of them are willing to donate stuff and how many of them are just going to donate their time, which is also perfectly valid. Yeah, going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And again, all proceeds, everything we make from it, it'd be cash donations or through raffles or otherwise. Everything goes through Toys for Tots. And we're going to level it in. But also in the meantime, as we ramble, the phone number, go ahead and call in. This is a call-in show. You may ask us questions. If you just want to hear us talk, that's great. But let other people talk about whatever. You know what I mean. There's a phone number. Call it. Ask us a question.
Stuff to talk.
No. And again, don't forget to like the stream. Don't forget to share it, favorite, tell your friends and family, hey, go check out these two goofs on this channel. You're going to love it. And it's a lot of fun. And you can call and talk to them. And we actually talk to people. We do not mind. They are. Also coming up in about, a few minutes, maybe about 5. Maybe if we get a phone call or two, we'll take a couple of phone calls. And then we're going to have Andrew, a.k.a. Dart Sweep, will be joining us today. And we'll be talking about whatever it is we want to talk about. Most likely gameplay, World Foam Alliance, or maybe we'll be talking about various creams that help when your back hurts. Who knows? We'll see when we get there. If you haven't already, don't forget to go to worldfoamalliance.org. Don't forget to register. How can we tell you where other people are in your area if we know where you are and that you exist? If we don't know that you exist, we can't tell you, hey, there are other people in New York State that want to play with you. So go ahead
the whole
and
goal
register.
of the World Foam Alliance is networking, because the number of people that reached out to me and said, I wish there was something like that in my area. And I realized, wait, I've heard at least 3 people say that in Kansas City. There's got to be at least 3 of you in Kansas City. Get a club started. And then they did. And now the KCNC is a thing. But that's the goal, because there's a lot of, Nerf is the second largest toy after Lego. There are millions and millions and millions of people in America with Nerf blasters that don't know that there might be a club in their town, because we are lousy at advertising, and because Hasbro doesn't advertise it, and Dart Zone doesn't advertise that our kinds of clubs exist. And if you didn't know we existed, you wouldn't even think to look for us, probably. So the goal of the World Foam Alliance is to spread that awareness and to get more people into our aspect of the hobby, and then to help those clubs grow. That's the one of the big things is once you're in, networking within it, because I've recently talked to somebody who runs an amazing event, but they had a lot of logistics problems that were largely solvable by stuff that a different club had done years ago. But they had never talked because, again, we're lousy at networking and we're lousy at advertising. So the World Foam Alliance is trying to fix that. But as Al said, in order for that to work, we need people to sign up, because we need to know where you are, or at least your region, and then we can connect people from the same region. It also helps with collecting your giveaway, because if you've registered on the World Foam Alliance, we have your email address and we can contact you, as opposed to you randomly commenting on YouTube and having someone else email us going, I'm that guy, send me the free thing. Not that anyone would do such a thing.
No, on the internet, never. Also, we have, again, this week's giveaway. So again, if you watch the most recent episode of The Forge, is the Nerf Forerunner that I painted up in distress. This will be the giveaway item. We must come up with a giveaway phrase. We will not give it to you yet, but there will be a giveaway phrase. You just got to copy and actually post it in the comments. And you have to be here when we make the announcement of who win. It'll be randomly generated. Yep. If you're not here, we're not going to track you down. You don't got time for us. I don't got time to send you free stuff. That's just how it works, man. I need you to be here and actually listen to me and suffer through it if you must. But if you win, I will send you the free thing. That will be happening later on this show. We'll give you the catchphrase. Say the catchphrase. We have a random thing that kind of selects our winner, and then I send you this, and it'll probably be signed as well. And I promise it'll be signed by me and not some random name.
It'll have a squiggle that is definitely authentic, kind of like my ex.
That's right. For $5.99, I will forge Captain Xavier's signature on this if you need that.
Yeah, there you go. You'll have to. He's been practicing. It's difficult to forge. It's a complicated one.
It's kind of like mine keeps looking like a cross instead of an X. I don't know.
No, you got to get the angles right. Yeah.
It's kind of biblical.
It's wacky.
It is. All right. So again, for those watching and don't know, today's guest, his name is Andrew, aka Dart Sweet. Andrew is a member of the World Foam Alliance. He's also the star of Foam Zone. Foam Zone is the show we have every other Wednesday, where it's kind of like a talk show format, where he sits down with people in our hobby and discusses many things. It's actually like a formal interview. Sometimes he takes calls. Sometimes he doesn't have time for it because he's got to ask people questions. So again, on the show now, we're going to have Andrew Dart Sweet. Are you there? Where is he?
You here?
Hello, my fellow foam fling enthusiasts. How are you?
All right, right off the bat. Do you see what he's wearing there, buddy? Do you see what he's got on, Xavier?
Yep, I saw that.
It's like
I never get a chance to wear this, so I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to don this magnificent piece of artwork, courtesy of Al the Geek.
That's awesome. But hold on. Now I gotta feel like I gotta wear stuff too. There we go. Hold on. The perfect excuse.
Oh, now we're twinsies.
Well, I would have made Chayla one, but this on a carry-on is kind of difficult, so I didn't.
Yeah.
You look cooler than I do, though. I guarantee it.
Nah, it works, brother. I tell you. Oh yeah, that's right. Andrew, did you see what Maritime brought him?
I had to get a battery for it, and I got it at the same time I got the batteries for the Diana. He gave me his original, the first one, his prototype Mega XL pistol thing, which is just ridiculous. It's got recoil. The thing hits so hard.
I'm so jelly. I've been wanting one since Maritime started making them. I'm patiently waiting in line to see when I can get one.
Yeah. I was looking to get into the line, and then he showed up, and at the end of the weekend, he's like, "I want you to have this." And
maybe the secret is I gotta invite Maritime Phone over to my place then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. He's Canadian. He has to be polite, which means he has to bring a present.
Yeah, so this is a little surreal, serendipitous, because I'm used to being the one that interviews the guests, and now
now we're going to ask you the hard questions. How did you get into this hobby? Explain yourself.
Oh,
yes.
Sure. Yeah, I think I've mentioned it before, but like a lot of people, the pandemic was the gateway for me to be introduced to the hobby. I am a videographer as my day job, full-time videographer, video production, have my own company. But when the pandemic happened, obviously, my clients kind of didn't need videos at the time. I don't think anyone needed any kind of work. Everything just kind of came to a standstill. And so I was just looking into getting into different kind of hobbies. So I picked up 3D printing at some point. I started doing some coloring books. And then one day I was just in the aisle of Target, and I saw a whole aisle of Nerf blasters. And, it'd been a while since I actually had even thought about Nerf in general. And so I was just perusing down the aisle. I was like, oh man, these have really come a long way since the last time, I tried one of these. And I remember I must have spent 45 minutes to an hour just standing there, just looking at all the blasters they had. And I remember debating between getting the rival charger and I forget what the other one, but long story short is I ended up with the rival charger and took it home, started plinking, I was like, oh man, this is pretty fun. And then I made some targets. I hung some cups from pieces of string from the ceiling and was just plinking away at my at those targets at home. And at some point, I was like, oh man, I wonder if there's groups that get together and do this. Because, I think we've all done laser tag and, some people have done paintball and airsoft. So I knew that existed. So, of course, like many others, I went online to see if there were any groups. Didn't find much information, but there were two groups relatively close to me in the Maryland area, which were the Southern Maryland House of Nerf and the Maryland Nerf Herders, who is run by Boomstick Mods. I tried to go out there a couple times to the events, and I think when I wanted to go, weather was a factor and an issue. So it took me a while to get out there, and finally made it out there. And originally, my first event was going to be Southern Maryland House of Nerf, and it just got rained out. They ended up playing indoors. I wish I had gone to that one, but I didn't know that they were going to play indoors as a result. So I ended up going to Maryland Nerf Herders as my first event. And I just remember getting there. I had my rival charger. I brought a buddy of mine. And I think at that point I had invested in some other blasters. I think that I picked up a Nemesis and I think it was a Nemesis and a Percy's. And I was like, oh man, I'm gonna take names and this is gonna be a lot of fun. And got there and didn't get a single tag the entire day, and I just got destroyed. And at this time, people were running Caliburns. The Mark DZP Mark 1.1 had just come out, so it was during that time, and I was like, "Oh man, okay." Next time I come back, I'm gonna have a Mark 1.1. I'm gonna have a Caliburn. I'm gonna have all this, and I'm gonna be able to compete. But yeah, definitely took a blow to my ego that very first time. I brought my buddy too, and who isn't the most athletic person there is, but we got there, and I remember meeting Boomstick Mods, Neil Overstreet, and he was the friendliest person I think I had met in like the longest time. And as a new person, you're kind of apprehensive. What do I do? Da 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 da. So you had to just sign your name, and then it asked you to write how old you were. I was like, oh boy. I was like, well, I'm pushing like 40, and he's like, oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, it's totally fine, man. I was like, oh, well, if I can have fun, and people can have fun with me at my age, then I feel like I'm in the right place. So. And then it just kind of evolved very quickly from that point. I started going to every single event that there was in Maryland, which at the time was just Southern Maryland House of Nerf and Maryland Nerf Herder, so 2 times a month. But I made it a point to go to those events every opportunity they had an event. And I just made some really good friends. And at some point, they had asked me to become an admin of the group. And I think at that time, Dart Sweep wasn't a thing, but I was the guy who saw people kind of sitting around, when we needed to be doing Dart Sweep. So I'd go around, Dart Sweep, and just try to like motivate people to get off their butts and go do some dart sweeping. Ironically, these days I don't do much dart sweeping because I'm usually helping running the events and things like that. But every now and then, if you catch me on a good day, you might see me on the field dart sweeping. But yeah, that's basically how I got into it. Was the pandemic and just looking for something to do and fill some time. And I don't have I don't have very much responsibilities, so it became kind of a social aspect of it too. Someplace I could go and hang out with people and have a good time sharing the same passion of foam flinging. So yeah, that's basically how I got into it.
Dude, that's awesome, because I was wondering how Dart Sweep, where you got your name from. Well, you kind of figured how, but specifically where it is. So. And you know what? It's like anything. Sometimes the name happens and it sticks and it suits and it works, man. But then here, so you were the 2 groups, and you formed the 3rd group, which is your own the DMV Nerfers. But then, so I guess tell us See, again, this is what happens when you get organized and you talk to people and you want to expand. So this is a microcosm of what hopefully the World Foam Alliance shall be. But then I love that the three groups, instead of fighting or warring or trying to be the better group, realize that you all attend each other's events anyways and how to get on the same page. And then the birth of which really is I feel, and maybe because I'm biased because it's my backyard, the pillar that is the Maryland Foam Alliance. Tell us about that, how that came to be, and what the benefits that you all experienced just by creating and forming that.
Yeah, so I feel a little guilty because I feel like I benefited off of other people's hard work. But basically, I've been going to Maryland Nerf Herders and the Southern Maryland House of Nerf and posting on Facebook, or I should say like spam on Facebook is probably what I'm best known for. But I've always considered kind of the Southern Maryland House of Nerf and Maryland Nerf Herders already working together. Southern Maryland House of Nerf is run by Ben Austin, who we call Just Ben, and like I said, Maryland Nerf Herders is run by Boomstick Mods, and they
Both great
were
people, by the way.
already
Both are awesome.
they were both cooperating and working together and helping each other out at each other's events at that time. I kind of weaseled my way in. Neil had asked me to be his admin at first for Maryland Nerf Herders, which I happily agreed to, as long as I got to keep on yelling "Dart Sweep," and then shortly after that. Southern Maryland House of Nerf asked me to be an admin for them. Like I said, I just kind of forced my way into there. They would go out to dinner after every event, and at some point I say, "Hey, do you mind if I come to dinner with you?" And that's kind of how I got to know those guys. But then, and then I was sorry, I'm just scatterbrained. But I was posting.
You're in the right place then.
I was posting online. Basically, I've always thought of the Maryland clubs kind of as one entity already, just because that's, the groups that I attended. So I would always tag Maryland Nerf Herders, Southern Maryland, and I always thought them as one kind of group, brother, partner, sister group, whatever you want to call it. And then at some point I was like, because Maryland Nerf Herders is about 45, 50 minutes away from me. Southern Maryland House of Nerf is about an hour and 15 minutes away from me on a good day. So I was like, I'd like to form my own group so I don't have to drive so far, and so I can play. Which ironically, I found out very, very soon after forming DMV Nerfers that you don't really get a chance to play when you're running and organizing the events themselves. So there's the irony there. But yeah, so I created DMV Nerfers as a way for me not to have to go so far and to be able to play. And then within that, I would promote all three groups equally is what I want to say between us, just to get the word out there and share to everyone what we got going on, try to get people to our events and everything like that. DMV Nerfers kind of used the foundation and worked off the trials and errors that Maryland Nerf Herders and Southern Maryland had to go through their growing pains. So I always feel a little guilty about making DMV Nerfers, but using what worked for them and then just applying it to DMV Nerfers. And DMV Nerfers has had a pretty smooth and relatively steady trip so far. But we started out originally in a public park, which was fantastic. We averaged anywhere from like 35, 40 people out in the park. I think just having that like public exposure will do that. And then at some point, the city called and was like, nah, you can't do that. You got to get a permit and everything like that. So DMV ended up moving indoors. Luckily, we were able to find an indoor venue, Air Park Soccerplex, small indoor soccer field, split up into two 60 by, I think it's 60 by 90 fields. One side is not casual play, but regular PvP play. And then on the other field, we have our competitive play where we'll run 3v3 or 5v5 flag dash. We're looking to get into some other competitive game types. It's a really small field, so it's kind of hard to do. But and then as me kind of tagging this as the Maryland Foam Alliance. I always consider our 3 groups as an alliance just because we all work together. We share the same admins. We share a lot of the same players and everything. So for me, from the get-go, from when DMV Nerfers was created, it's always been kind of like this coalition, a co-op alliance that, you know, I always wanted to promote. And Southern Maryland House of Nerf proposed taking on Maryland Nerf herders, kind of the back end on the financial thing.
Wait, like a hostile takeover? Is that what happened here?
Yeah, not so hostile takeover by Just Ben and
movie?
Southern Maryland House of Nerf. So they were under the same system. So their ticketing and merch and everything would fall under the LLC of Southern Maryland House of Nerf. And then at the end of last year, they came to me and asked if DMV would like to join that as well. So it became official as the Maryland Foam Alliance last year. And as we still operated independently, we each had our own funds and rules and everything like that. But this year, going into the next year, 2024, we are actually officially merging all 3 groups into the Maryland Foam Alliance. So our events will be Maryland Foam Alliance November event, brought to you by Southern Maryland House of Nerf, or brought to you by Maryland Nerf Herders, brought to you by DMV, and we're all just going to be under this blanket of the Maryland Foam Alliance, and all our funds are going to go into one account and make things a lot easier, and we'll be able to streamline things. So, but yeah, that's kind of how it evolved. Is 3 groups just really working together and getting along. It's been fantastic. Boomstick Mods. I don't know if you've got a chance to meet Neil Overstreet in person. Fantastic person, great friend. I consider him my partner in crime. And Just Ben, he's my age as well, but you know, he's kind of the mentor of all of us. He's kind of the one who does all the numbers and say, oh, you guys can do this and you can't do that. And so we complement each other, and it's been working out pretty well. I'm kind of the baby brother of the group, even though I'm older than Neil. I'm still learning, and you know, I follow by example, and I have some great examples to work off of. But like I said, I feel a little guilty because I didn't have to go through all the growing pains that those guys had to go to. But it's been a lot of fun, and I highly recommend, if you get a chance, to take a trip down to Maryland when we have one of our back-to-back events, which happens sometimes, or just randomly show up and check out what Maryland foam flinging is all about. And I'd also like to mention UMBC's HBZ also. We're very spoiled in Maryland for foam flinging opportunities. I did the math. We basically have anywhere from 11 to 12 opportunities a month for you to fling foam, whether that's our Maryland Foam Alliance events or our bi-weekly UMBC HBZ club 1-hour night missions is what they call it, every Mondays and Thursdays. So
I've been to a couple. They're awesome.
Yeah, they're fantastic. So
Chelo, you can relate to having to organize event and set up play?
Yep. Yeah, I don't get to play as much as I used to either because I'm running all of this stuff, but I find that more fulfilling anyway. But yeah, as you know, what's been created there is exactly what we're wanting to do with the World Foam Alliance on a global level. And learning from what other people has already done is a big part, because you can't live through making every mistake yourself. That's silly to try. And yeah, if we can make things better for other people, that's just better. And so being able to network people and connect them to, all right, how did you guys create your LLC? How did you get the indoor location? What are you charging for events? How are you covering the funding? All of that kind of stuff. We up here, we haven't had to actually start charging for events. And so we haven't actually incorporated yet. It's something we have discussed. It's something we've looked into, but none of us have the business background to run one. So, but like I said, we could learn from your example of how could we set this up, because it gets cold and damp here in the winter and we don't have an indoor venue, and we would need to, start charging to be able to do that. And to that, we would need an LLC and all that. So yeah, I dig it. And I went to Maryland Mayhem last year. It was an amazing event, having both the con and the competitive one day, HVZ the next day, public war the third day. That's how it should be done. And those are just incredible events, and I love that there's more than one of them now. It used to be it was End War. That was the only one. If you didn't go to End War, that was the only big event like that. Now we've got Survival Fest, Maryland Mayhem, End War, RAG. Hopefully we'll see West versus Zombies come back. We're hoping someday to host an event like that up here in the Pacific Northwest.
I was about to suggest that.
Yeah, venue. Venue is the issue. We need to find a venue.
Yeah, I don't think it's any secret that Maryland Mayhem was heavily inspired by End War. Again, we're just kind of working off of what others have done. But, that was just our way to kind of showcase and provide our version of End War, not trying to compete or anything, but, provide another opportunity, another event for people to come together and have a good time. So.
Yeah, because not everyone could make it to End War, and that was the only event. So it's great that there are more. One, if you get to go to more events, that's better. But the more events there are, the more likely everyone is able to get to at least one of them. We should take a caller. We haven't taken a caller in a while. Is there a caller?
Let's take a caller.
To come and
Phone numbers.
Ask Andrew a question. Caller?
Actually,
someone wants to ask me a question. But if you do,
I think so.
Call 979-500-2794.
So then, actually, while we get people to
on.
No, but while they try to figure out a phone and try to figure out the call, so we're gonna mix it up a little bit. Why? Because first we were supposed to have Maritime phone, but we tricked you because we're actually having Andrew.
Sorry to disappoint you. It's just me.
Disappoint nothing, man. They should feel honored that, oh my God, I actually got Andrew instead of Anthony. And yeah, it's way late. But anyways, to keep mixing it up, so the usual way we do a giveaway is there's a catchphrase, you put in the catchphrase, and then you win stuff. Well, we're not doing that this week. Why? Well, it's none of your business. We're just not doing it this week this way. We're going to mix it up. So the way we're going to do it this week is because, you know what? It seems like people might be afraid to call us. It's like, I don't want to ask them a question. Maybe they'll make fun of me. I don't want to get off their lawn. Well, now I'm going to make you make a phone call. You know how I'm going to make you make a phone call? You're going to have to call us to win something. You're going to actually have to pick up your phone, dial a number, and talk to one of us to actually win something.
I like that.
But it's not going to be that easy.
Do that?
Phones can apparently do that, but it's not going to be that easy because you know what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to call in, talk to us, and answer a question with the correct answer. So the first caller we take, and we're going to randomly take a caller, whoever's in there, it's like, all right, pick line 27. And then you got to give us the correct answer. Now, we will be nice enough to give you a question beforehand, before you call in and not on the spot. So it's not like you'll be calling in and right away we're looking at you and saying, what is the airspeed? What is it? What is that?
Airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow. It's 26 miles an hour.
Bingo. Thank you for the reference. Fix your brain. Anyways, we should come up with a question. I think the three of us should come up with a question. What do you think? Should we do one with trivia of the show or something completely random?
We should reward someone that's been watching the stream.
Fair enough. So you know what? The question right now, unless we change our mind, and we're not doing the giveaway yet. That's later on, but this is just so y'all can ponder and remember it. The way it's going to work is when you call in, you got to answer the question. And right now, I'm thinking the question might be, name one of the blasters that Andrew first brought to one of his first Nerf event where he got slaughtered. At least one.
He mentioned two.
He did. So the winning question is going to be, and if you're dumb enough to share it in the chat, you can, but everyone else can call in. But if you want to be giving, that's fine too. Then it's like who can dial faster. We're not doing it yet.
They rewind
right now,
the stream.
Everyone's just scrolling back on the screen trying to find out.
What did he say?
So you're not going to win now.
Right.
It's going to be later in the show. However, the question is going to be, you got to name at least one, and we might change your mind and say, name both that he brought to his first event. It all depends how you all feel and if we're going to be crotchety or not. I don't know. Maybe, or we just feel generous and say, thank you for calling. What's your name? Correct. You win. No, I'm kidding. There's going to be a question, and the question's going to be.
You're calling number 3. You win.
You win.
All right. We've got some callers now. They probably think that they're going to be able to answer the question and get the prize, but we haven't started that yet.
This is just random questions and comments.
What do you got? Hello?
Hello.
Who are you? What do you want?
Yeah, hi, this is Django Romprana. How are you guys doing?
I'm
Hey,
doing
how are you, buddy?
Django Runner,
Good,
Darsh,
good.
what's up, buddy?
Not much, Andrew. I'm good. How are you?
Good. Have you recovered from Battle of Endor?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I got my morning
It was great
exercise
to see you
routine
there.
now, so yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I can't believe you're about as old as I am when you started. So yeah, that's awesome.
Don't remind me.
Okay. So yeah, I was actually wondering the next big event that you guys are going to do is the Maryland Mayhem, right? Is that going to be in April? Do you have dates for that yet?
Maryland Mayhem 2 is happening. We are currently in the process of organizing along with UMBC. We do have our dates. Our dates are going to be the weekend of April 19th through the 21st. So, yeah.
Excellent.
All right. Excellent. Yeah, my next question is actually going to be more of I guess a hypothetical. I don't have really any HVZ practical blasters, so if I was planning to attend it, and next year I'm actually going to try to. What would you recommend I get?
So for HVZ, the most important qualities of the blaster is going to be high capacity, reliability, and accuracy at up to 25 feet. That's all you need. You don't need a blaster that shoots 120 FPS and can, nail a zombie at 75 feet, because there's no point. The zombies are going to come to you. What is most important is that you don't run out of ammo, and that when you pull the trigger, a dart comes out, and that you can hit a target at 25 feet. I have seen people that had the most amazing modded blasters. They were, full auto select fire. They were, tuned to exactly 120. And because they're so complicated, they get a jam and you die. You only get to make the one mistake in HVZ, and then you're a zombie and that's it. So reliability is more important than performance. And in a lot of cases, stock blasters are the most reliable. The amount of R&D that stock blasters go through is incredible. But I like magazine-fed things, so just because it's really easy to reload and you can carry a lot of ammo. But other ones that are really good, things like the Artemis or the Hera or the Hades, they've got good capacity. They're reliable as all get out. They will definitely hit a target at 25 feet. Oh no, we're gonna lose them, but I'm gonna keep talking about it anyway.
Okay.
Reliability is key.
So basically, rival. Got it.
Yeah, that's the thing is, and test your blaster. Test it. Also, get off my lawn and test your blaster. Test your loadout. Practice with your loadout. I have seen people make it to the final stand of an HVZ armed with nothing but Mavericks. I have seen people with proton packs go down in mission 1. Reliance on the equipment is not a good idea, but there are a lot of good blasters out there right now. A lot of the Adventure Force or the Dart Zone magazine-fed blasters, so the Thunderbolt, the Spectrum, those were fabulous HVZ blasters because they're semi-automatic. You're not going to waste all your ammo on the first zombie that comes around the corner. It's going to be one shot, one tag. You're not going to, run dry 2 targets in because you're shooting 20 darts a second. There's no point to high rate of fire in most HVZs. Once you get down to the big last stand and there's 100 zombies coming at you in a wave, then a proton pack is loads of fun. But earlier on, you're putting 10 darts into each zombie and you run out of ammo. A lot of the pump action revolvers that they came out with, the Villainator, the Magnum Super Drum, excellent HVZ blasters because you can easily top them up from darts off the ground or from a dump pouch. And they're very, very reliable. There's very little to fail in a revolver. That's true in real firearms. A semi-automatic is far more prone to jams than a revolver is ever going to be. They're easier to reload and they have more capacity, but again, reliability is the key thing. It cannot fail. If your blaster fails, you're done. You're tagged. So
I think also is it is. I think it also depends on your mobility too. Like if you can move and run, you don't need a lot because you can run away from stuff. If you're not mobile, then you might want to have enough ammunition because you can't run away from stuff.
Yeah, exactly. The people who were able to run like a Maverick at End War and make it were people like Brett. who just doesn't get tired. I've got 2 bad knees and a bad lower back. I don't run anymore. I plod. But for that reason, I bring an army with me and surround myself with competent troops with really reliable blasters and lots of firepower. That's the other thing, is you can get away with more interesting blasters if you have a good squad that can back you up. So that's how you keep from having your one jam get you tagged, is having someone who can cover you when your blaster jams.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. Definitely would recommend, like Xavier said, the Spectrum, the Thunderbolt. But also the great thing about HVZ is you don't necessarily need a blaster. You can just, like I was saying, you can run away. We've had people that literally just throw darts or sock ninja the entire event, and they do pretty well. But yeah, reliability, having some sort of capacity or easy way to top load. Personally, I've been using a combination of the Thunderbolt or Spectrum, the full auto Nightingale, and also, believe it or not, the Nerf limited Halo Needler, which is a lot of fun to use, especially at night.
And there is nothing wrong with running an ineffective blaster for fun. You don't have to go to try to make it to the last stand. You can go out in a blaze of glory running a ridiculous blaster. There is nothing in the world wrong with that. But yeah. Let's take a caller.
Ooh, another
call.
caller.
Ramble some more about a different question.
Maybe.
Welcome to the lawn.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Who are you? What do you want?
Danny, Thirsty for Foam.
Yo.
What's up, Dart Sweep?
Danny, what's shaking, brother? How are you, man?
Hey, how's it going? I had to call in, and of course, my question that I was gonna ask, Dart Sweep pretty much answered it right before I got on.
No,
I was gonna ask
it
what
again.
like to run.
Ask it anyway. We will expound upon it.
We'll pretend like we didn't hear it.
So, I was going to ask about your HVZ, what you prefer, and I was like, oh no, he isn't. So yeah. I don't know. I didn't have a backup question.
All right, let's ask you, Danny. What for your next? So let's say you can make it to Maryland Mayhem for the HVZ. What do you hope to run if you make it up for the UMBC HVZ? What do you like to run?
Oh man, I don't have anything that runs that. It's 120 FPS, right?
Yeah.
Or less. Yeah.
I'd probably want to build something. Probably, I don't know, like a cut down, like rapid pistol or something.
The rapid pistol is a good option.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I'd want to cut the mag wall down. I want to go extra fancy and take an inch off the mag wall and make it like just all short dart dedicated.
Yeah.
I will say there was a point I was running the Tomahawk 60. Is that what it was? The dart zone? Yeah, that was a great blaster, especially because you could swap out your drum if you wanted to. I'm trying to think of what other blasters. The Mayfly was a good one. Trying to think what else
Rag 2018, which is still my favorite last stand that I've ever been at. I was running auto strifes, which resulted in me burning through the ammo way faster than I would have liked, because my auto strikes fire a minimum of a 2-round burst, which meant I burned through ammo real quick. Luckily, they allowed melee, and I had a sword. So in the end, I was down to an empty auto strife and a sword, spitting my defiance into the horde.
I ran this, and you know what?
Yeah, I mentioned the Mayfly. The Mayfly is really good.
Yeah. Mayfly is fun. I've got a pair of them.
This thing is great, reliable, and it's just a spamf, man.
Oh yeah.
Reliable and accurate.
Yeah, sometimes honestly, less is more. Sometimes, and again, like depends on your play style, but at a certain point, I get to a point in the day where I'm just like, oh man, I don't want to lug around, my whole rig and all this equipment, and I need some water, So really, it really comes down to your play style. What you feel comfortable of running. But like I said, you could literally play HVZ with no blaster and just try to run away from the Zeds if you really wanted to.
Oh, that reminds me, dude, you should have seen the guy that was, so when we were up in Seattle, there was one guy that came out to the event we had on Saturday at Captain Xavier's compound, and all he brought was a shield and a sword, and he was just deadly.
Because my arena is real close quarters. It's not hard to get close to people if you know how to move.
And I just want to give a quick shout out to Danny Pack, aka Thirsty for Foam. If you don't know who Danny is, definitely check him out on Facebook. Does some fantastic integrations. Did a Stripe Super Soaker integration for me that I absolutely love with the Band Blaster cage in it, and always using that polycarb barrel to increase that FPS. So if you get a chance, definitely check out Danny Pack, aka Thirsty for Foam.
He makes some beautiful stuff, man. He hates painting, but he doesn't have to, and he's very creative with his stuff, and he really makes sure to make good stuff. So yeah, he's good people. Again, just a reminder to everyone, this is the World Foam Alliance. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to hit the like and the thumbs up. The more people we get, the better reach we have, the more we can do for you. If you have not registered, go to worldfoamalliance.org. Be sure to register. Again, the more we can do for you is that we know you exist. We will not take credit cards number or your firstborn or your kidneys. We are here to help you, and we're not here to sell you to other people. No, just don't be sure to register. Also, again, so we will be doing a charity stream. The charity stream is happening in December. It will be a 24-hour stream where we're going to have actually all the YouTubers you probably already subscribed to and more who will be on at various points during that stream. And there might be 1 or 4 of us on at the same time. If you want to donate stuff for our charity raffle, you can send it to the World Foam Alliance. Let me find that email address again. WFA_team. It's on the screen. Yay! WFA teams at worldfoamalliance.org. If you want to provide for that, again, all proceeds go to Toys for Tots. The way it works, you can donate money or you can actually buy raffle tickets, and we will also have items that will be for, I think, possibly in a silent auction. More details with that will be provided. All proceeds go to Toys for Tots. Be sure to tune in. And if you're hoping that it would just be the 3 of us on for 24 hours, half asleep, in like drooling and mindlessly talking. But if you really want that, we'll charge something extra for that and do it sometime later. But that's not what's happening in December.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be on more than anybody else because Al and I will be starting it. Al and I will be ending it. I'll also be on for the Pacific Northwest's Nerf's Giving segment. We're all going to be sitting around eating turkey and pumpkin pie during the stream, full-on mukbang style. It'll be great, I'm sure. It won't be weird or awkward or anything. We're going to have people literally from all over the world because it is the World Foam Alliance. So we've got people from we've got people from Germany. We've got people from Singapore. We've got Australia. We've got all over the Pacific Northwest, East Coast, West Coast. It's going to be pretty cool. We got people from England. We got people. So yeah, it's going to be cool. All right, let's take a caller because I like answering questions. Who are you? What do you want? I can hear you.
Hello. It's Isaac from Pacific Northwest.
Isaac,
the hammer and banana guy.
You absolutely correct.
All right, hold on. Let me. So I met Isaac. Isaac is actually one of. It was also a privileged person that was able to come out on Saturday. We also may have slept in the same place. But anyways, Isaac is good people, and for throwables, he brought a foam hammer. And it was awesome. And I'll post a video because we weren't allowed to throw darts, but technically if you used a foam hammer to launch the dart, therefore it wasn't a throwable. Anyways, Isaac, what's going on, brother?
It's going good. I'm just at work doing work things. But I had a question, which was in the vein of silliness and throwables. What is the most silly loadout that you have seen somebody be effective with in a game?
I've seen Brett get tags with an actual banana while dressed like a banana.
That sounds about right.
I've also seen him get tags with a strife that was still in the box. I have seen him get tags with a Caliburn that was completely disassembled and still in the box that it was mailed to him in. Most of the silly ones are going to be Brett because that man could get tags with anything. He managed to take me out when I was armed with my minigun with one of the... Quit making noise!
Huh?
He is in a machine shop after all.
He
I
is,
saw
yep.
Brett manage to get a tag with me when I had my minigun and was playing a Juggernaut with a Nitron car launcher.
Oh my goodness.
Brett is an amazing person. The concept of I'd run that in a war, that phrase was coined in my workshop back when I lived in Tacoma, and people would bring some ridiculous blaster in, and we'd be looking at it going, no, if you put a brass barrel on that, put a heavy enough spring in that, you can get at least 80, 90 FPS. I'd run that in a war. And he took that phrase and that concept of it doesn't need to be great. It just needs to be fun. And he took it to a level that was just a completely different level, and it's amazing.
It is.
You know who
Isaac,
else
what about
runs a pretty
yeah.
pretty fantastic silly blasters is Buff Daddy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Buff
Pennsylvania
Daddy runs some
Survivor
pretty
Fest.
fantastic fun blaster. I think he ran the what was the Boba Fett's blaster at some point for
Keep Isaac on for another minute. Hold on, I got another question while Andrew goes. He survived the lawn. We're gonna keep Isaac for a little bit. Hold him. Don't cut him.
Yeah. And the
I love
other
that.
thing I've seen people in Maryland, we have one of the HVZ squad. The PvP HVZ squad is called Taco Hell. So if you ever hear the squad Taco Hell, it's the Maryland group. But we have actually made foam tacos that you can use as throwables. So you may see a bunch of foam tacos throwables going around if you come to Maryland Mayhem.
So
I mean,
I wanted
have
to keep
those in my
Isaac
Christmas
on.
list, so I
Isaac,
want
tell us
them.
about what you got, brother. Tell us what you use, because right now you qualify as fun and original. I love that, and this was last weekend when I was up there.
Well, I definitely have to say, inspired by Brett's banana loadout, I acquired around 60 small foam bananas, and I ran that in an HVZ.
They were very small. He was expecting slightly bigger. These were tiny bananas, but it was hilarious
Yeah, they were
watching him get tagged with them.
2 or 3 inches long, and so I could hold like 5 or 6 in my hand and just throw a cloud of bananas out of nowhere.
Shotgunning bananas. The zombies were so confused. Like, he doesn't have a blaster. I can get him. Bananas. Like,
It was very fun.
And he had hammers.
I will be acquiring more of them, so I could have like a couple hundred, I think, and just have like a backpack full of bananas.
oh, excellent. One of these days, I will get around to running my all-rubber duck loadout.
There it is.
Oh my good lord.
Perfect.
I have a
Isaac,
number of
all right,
things
brother.
that can fire.
Before we cut you loose, you got anything else?
That was the main question that I have for you guys.
Good question.
Awesome, brother. Great question. It was good to meet you. I will see you next time I go to Pacific Northwest if someone lets me back. But otherwise, man, dude, it's been fun. Thanks for calling in. And get off my lawn, kid. Come on, get back to
Get
work.
out.
Bye.
Get back to work. You're making
One of the
noise.
stories, foam bananas and foam tacos.
That's right.
Bananas and tacos. The good stuff.
Dude,
Yeah.
these foam hammers, he had them, and they're great. And when you throw them, they're awesome. And that's when we're at his place. We're messing around with it. I got a video. I'll post that. I got to edit and post it.
Please
It
do.
was incredibly. It was way more effective than you could ever imagine to hold a dart and hit it from behind with a hammer. They actually flew very straight and very fast
That's awesome.
for what you were doing. It was ridiculous. There was also Lance got an inordinate number of tags with a foam brick.
Yes, the brick. I forgot about the brick.
Because in our group, throwables pierce shields.
Right.
And there was a guy that was running the shield and was very, very good with the shield. And not very many people had anything that fired Mega or Mega XL. But Lance had Captain Brick, and Captain Brick saw him through.
I'm going to
It
see if
looks
we
like
can
a
make
brick.
a foam brick legal throwable here.
it's great because it looks like a brick, but obviously when he squeezes it, it's a sponge, but it looks like a brick. And you see
Yeah,
people like,
I have managed to collect 4 of the official Zombie Strike half bricks that came out once upon a time when Nerf had throwables.
oh wow.
Yeah.
I want a
wish I
brick
had
now.
more.
Now I got to go on eBay or Amazon.
He got
I
it from
should.
Canada, and I can't remember who
recently
it
And a
was.
banana.
acquired another of the foam brain, the official Nickelodeon Nerf foam brain.
Right.
I had one, but I don't know where it went. It's hopefully in a bin or in a box somewhere in my workshop. I haven't seen it in forever. I'm sure I put it somewhere safe. So I finally broke down and just bought another one so I could have another one.
Yeah, I think France Foamworks at some point had those foam brains.
The
that
little
he,
ones. Yeah, there were.
Yeah.
I have some of the little bitty ones. This one's the size of an actual human brain.
Oh, geez.
And it's in my colors. It's bright orange. They also made a green one, but I've never seen the green one for less than $100. Like,
Wow.
But
I'm not throwing that.
Next payday.
no, exactly. Or like, I'm not going to take it to an event and throw it. It's too valuable and rare, but I want to have it.
Well, yeah. So I think since we're talking events, I think we're going to do 2 plugs. So one, obviously, we touched upon a little bit, is the fact that next April, Maryland Mayhem is happening again. I love the fact that you all have been able to organize and put it on a calendar now because,
That is
well, we all
cool.
have like lives and jobs and other things. So you got to plan out trips. It's not like when you're back in college or like before that's like, hey, you want to go? Yeah, in the car and gone. So again, for those that don't know, in April, Maryland Mayhem is happening again. Here's the interesting part. I found the first one, and again, I might be biased, but whatever. It was incredibly successful. I had so much fun. And I remember a lot of people saying, man, I should have gone. Man, I should have gone. So my recent trip out to the Pacific Northwest and everybody we saw, I think barring one person, everybody's coming. Now,
Ooh,
obviously,
that's
when they get
exciting.
closer and they figure, but when they're telling you, no, I am going, I am going, I am going, I am going. I feel like half the people that are streaming with us for our charity giveaway are coming to Maryland Mayhem.
That's awesome. Yeah, we'll be making more announcements as we get closer to the dates. We'll be doing vendors and sponsor announcements, I think, towards the end of the month. And then for team registrations, we're gonna allow the teams that competed with stipulations. You got to qualify for it. I think you have to have 1 team captain and 3 returning, or 1 returning team captain and 3 returning team members to qualify for early registration. But we'll be doing that at the end going into the new year of next year. So stay tuned, and UMBC will be releasing all their posts with information on it. Also, you can visit the Maryland Foam Alliance website and hit the link to Maryland Mayhem and get some information there when it starts posting. The rules for the tournament should be, I think they are on there, the updated rules. We did update the rules for Flag Dash a little bit since we've had more opportunities to play test it. Nothing major. Point system has changed a little bit, and just some loopholes we try to close. So stay tuned for that as well. But all that information you should be able to find on the website, Facebook, and hopefully the World Foam Alliance as well. So
Obviously it will. Now, here's the other thing. Touching upon that, there's another event, and it's an inaugural event. It's coming up in January. I want to go, but I can't because I think my wife will kill me since it is right on our anniversary. However, you're laughing. You know which event I'm talking about, right? In January, in Ithaca, New York. Oh, come on, both of you that old, man. The one that Archer's doing.
the Sub-Zero?
There we go.
Sub-Zero.
Yes. So go
Yeah.
ahead, plug that. Who knows more about it than I do?
I barely knew it was a thing.
I know
knew
that it's
it-
called
I knew that
Sub-Zero.
it was a thing. I didn't know when it was happening. It was something that Archer plans to talk about on the live stream, because she's going to be on the live stream, and was going to plug that event as well, which is fabulous. We should definitely get her on this show before then so she can plug that event. You should get her on your show. Because
Definitely,
she's
I
amazing to do.
I agree with that statement, 100%.
Well,
She's
if Anthony keeps
amazing
bailing on
individual.
us, then we'll have her instead.
Yeah. I got to play with her in England when I was there last year. She went to Foam Fest, and we got to hold the line against the other team, and it was just it was very cool.
Yeah, Archer is fantastic. I definitely consider her a friend. She comes down to the Maryland events all the time. We hang out. We go out to dinner. Definitely, if you get a chance to hang out or meet Archer, definitely worth it. Shout out to Archer.
She is. So then apparently I know more than these guys do. It is January 6th. It's in Ithaca, New York. It is Sub-Zero. It is a day-long event. In terms of what they're actually having organized, I'm not sure. But the rollout, it just only happened about a week and a half ago. So again, it's going to, what is it called? Sub-Zero? Is that what it is?
Sub-Zero.
Because
Sub-Zero.
I assume it's cold in New York in January, isn't it?
January, yeah, man. Especially like, dude, says the Canadian. I drive by there to get up there, and I think they get more snow than I do. But yeah, it's indoor. It is not an Arctic event, so don't worry, it won't be outside. Although maybe we should try. We should do one outside, half an hour and a lot of snow, and just see how many darts you lose, and if you lose more darts or toes.
No, we nerfed in the snow at I think it was -5 degrees at Fort Worden one year. It was a bad idea. Everybody's batteries were all frozen. Only the springers were working. It was rough.
So is that Sub-Zero event? Is that PvP, HVZ? What is it exactly, Al?
That's a good question. I think it's PvP, but it might be actually an assortment of things. That I'm not sure of. If someone sent her a message, tell her to call in. Hey, if anyone knows Archer, send her a message. Tell her to call us and correct us on everything that we're saying wrong.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, don't forget to call in. We'll post the number. If you want to talk to us, ask a question, feel free to call. Also, don't forget to subscribe and like. The more people that subscribe and like, the more that we can do for you. Also, wolfformalliance.org. Don't forget to actually register there. Again, we need to know where you are, because the more we know where you are, the more we can actually do for you. And again, for the giveaway today, it is a different thing. It's not just posting a comment. You gotta call in and talk to us. You gotta put in the effort and not just copy and paste. Call in, talk to us. You gotta answer the trivia question. The trivia question is:
what was the first blasters that Dart Sweep took to his first Nerf event?
At least one of them you got to name.
At least one.
At least one.
If
it's too easy,
I'll send you extra stickers.
And we'll give you a hint that it's not the one that I was looking at in Target.
Oh, by the way, Velkos chimed in. It's a PvP charity event. So again, the one in Ithaca, New York, Sub-Zero, it is a PvP, and it is a, thanks Velkos, charity event. By the way, he was on Foam Zone last week with Dart Zone, with Dart Sweep. If you haven't checked that out, again, you can find it. It's there. Go see it. Don't ask me questions about it. Just go watch it, then ask me questions about it. Oh, but then also, wait, what did I want to touch upon? Oh, there was something. It just escaped my brain because my brain's like a sieve. In the meantime, look up the phone number.
Sub-Zero?
Yeah. In the meantime, let's take a call.
All right, let's take a call while I reset my head.
Oh, your brain is boarding at the station.
Hello.
Hello. Who are you? What do you want?
It is me. I was last week's guest on Andrew's show.
Zelkos. What do you want?
Zelkos.
Do you have information? Are you going to set us straight? Is it in fact a different month entirely?
No, it's definitely Sub-Zero. It's a PvP. I believe it's supposed to be more of like on a comp kind of thing, or a PvP thing as a charity event for Archer.
Cool.
Yeah.
How can we raise money for it?
There's not. I don't know. I mean, I know that there's a certain amount of tickets for that they can that you can buy right now. It is like a limited open event. And it's gonna be all the way up there. They have raffle tickets. I'm sure that like they're eventually they'll be able to like probably just take donations. But I definitely know that you probably could send some stuff her way so that way they can raffle it off at the event at minimum.
I'm a sucker for charity events. All you need to do is ask me and I'll send you stuff.
Yeah, so I know that it's with the RIT, the charity for Liam. I don't know if you guys know who Liam is, but he was one of the Rochester members of Rochester Radioactive that passed away, I think, like last year or something like that. So it goes to all the proceeds, I believe, go to his scholarship fund.
Oh, nice. That is fantastic.
Now, do you know if it's what kind of comp it's going to be, what game type, or anything like that?
I don't know. I know that it's funny because we talked to Sam and I have talked about it a few times, and they RIT is very much a HVZ kind of area. Right. So when you tell them anything in the realm of 200 FPS, they just kind of look at you like you're talking in a different language.
Unless you're playing Rochester Radioactive or Fallout.
Yeah, unless you're playing. Well, that's it. Yeah, exactly. Unless you're playing there specifically, yeah. Unless you're playing 10, was that 10, 15 people? But yeah, that's what I know about it, and I figured I'd call in because I know that Sam is she's been working late nights, and I figured she's a friend of all of ours, so.
Yeah.
Very cool. Awesome. Definitely interested in learning more about that.
No idea what we were talking about.
Andrew, I have a little question for you if you want to play along.
Uh-oh. Yeah, hold on. Let's wait before we cut you loose. Let's hold on to Zelkos for a little bit longer then too before we cut him mid question.
Yeah, you got 15 seconds left? Ask the question quickly.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Oh, you're gonna. Were you asking me the question, or am I asking you?
No, I thought you had a question, and you wanted me to play along.
Yeah. So I wanted to play along.
The powers that be didn't cut you loose. Go ahead, dude.
Oh, okay, for sure. So, Andrew, if Magic Smoke wasn't available to play, and you had to make a dream team of players for Flag Dash, who would you choose?
Ooh. Wait, let me cut in there.
First of
all, he's cut loose. He's playing for Team Mega Double XL. He signed the Devil. But besides that,
yeah, I pick.
I totally asked that question to stir the pot, so it's absolutely fine.
First of all, I would resurrect Team Ramrod, which is my other team that we hodgepodge together when Magic Smoke is not available. But there's so many good players. I would probably pull people from, RJ's a great player, Foam Juggernaut. Yep. I'd pull someone from Team Orca, Awooga, Beach Squad. Having someone from Nebula would be fantastic. I would look at teams and then see who I would be able to get off of those teams. Obviously, I would always play with you. If I could get a chance to get some of the guys from Singapore, Gavin and Piggy and Joseph, that'd be fantastic. There's a lot of good players and there's a lot of good teams now that are kind of establishing themselves in the way of competitions. So it's getting pretty exciting. Definitely would love to play with some of the Dauntless team members, Gang. Who else? Red Tide. Would be great to play with, but yeah, I'd like to kind of. Team Ramrod consists of a hodgepodge of different players from different teams, so I'd be happy with anyone from one of those teams.
You didn't coach on Team Rag, right? At BPOC, right? That was Neil's team. Okay, yeah, that was right. That was
So Team Ramrod was present at BPOC, and Neil kind of took the reins on that one since I was playing with Magic Smoke.
They did really well. They did your name proud.
They did, and I will say also, I don't know if you remember, but at the first BTA King of the Hill Clinic, Team Ramrod was.
Oh, that's right. Yes, you were. They won, yeah,
and we took first place there. So watch out for Team Ramrod. The Team
Random.
There it is. All right, Zelkos, that's a great question. Thanks, brother. He's saying all this now, but there'll be promises and deals made. He's playing Team Mega Double XL. He just can't admit to it yet.
Were made, blood was spilt.
Anyways, anything else you got, brother, before we cut you loose?
Is he even still here?
Yeah. Am I still here?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, I guess not too much. Obviously check out. I'm going to do a shameless plug. Check out TNT events. We're going to have a special. So we kind of, it's funny, guys, how you guys are talking about winter stuff and indoors. I don't think Andrew has been to one yet, but we do something called Friday Night Lights every so often, and that's going to kind of be our. December is our first time we ever ran it. So usually we run, we run our competitive stuff during the day, but Because of the venue being very busy during the winter, we tend to run some things at night. And if you ever, and Uno has a really good video of it, of us doing it and running it. This is going to be our first ever like kind of celebration of it, and it's going to be in December. So keep your eyes out for that.
Cool.
Awesome. Thank you very much, brother. Thanks for calling in and clarifying, and thanks for plugging the event. All the best. And now, graciously, please get off my lawn.
I will say I took a page off of TNT's playbook, and DMV Nerfers will be having a night game as well in January, so that should be pretty fun.
Oh, that'd be good.
And I definitely want to make it out to one of their night games because they put the LED lights up, and turn all the lights off, and then like all you see are tracer glow in the dark darts being traced. It looks like a lot of fun. Some of my friends have been there, so definitely want to get up there and do that one of these days for sure.
I think that'll be awesome. All right, gentlemen, what do you think? Is it time for you to get people to call in so we can give this thing away?
Let's give the thing away. All right. So for those of you that are just getting here or who've been not paying attention, here's how you actually win something. It's not going to be something you comment this time. You have to call in and answer a trivia question. In order to win the blaster that Al is holding, you'll need to dial the number down there below on your phone and actually talk to somebody. I know, I don't like it either. I can't remember the last time I actually used my phone to call somebody. It feels invasive. You got to call in and you got to tell us what was one of the blasters that Dart Sweep here brought to his first ever Nerf war, where he got absolutely wrecked by Caliburns and Dart Zone pros.
And it was not the blaster that I looked at or got when I went to Target.
Yeah. You can call in multiple times if you get it wrong the first time. Because if you get it wrong, we're just going to tell you to get off our lawn.
First caller wins, right? Or to get it right wins.
Well, first caller that gets it right, and we'll randomly pick one from whatever the number of callers. It's not the first one in, but you got to call in.
Yeah, we'll wait till there's a couple of people queued to call and then pick one at random. So it won't necessarily be the first person to call, but it'll be the first person that we choose and the first person who gets it right. So that's how you win.
And if we remember,
are you feeling lucky? Do you feel lucky?
In the meantime, as people call in a little bit more,
you can't win if you don't play.
Upon something because I keep forgetting, but let them call. As well, some people can't figure out a phone because they're just texting right now and they realize they got to call instead. So while you figure out your phone, Andrew, a quick answer, then we'll go to the thing, but we'll expand on it after. What was your thoughts when I messaged you and said, "Hey, man, I'm coming to this event," and you saw my butt show up at your event?
So that's really, so I don't know if people know this, but this is a story of how Al and I met. It was very early on in the DMV mythos or whatever you want to call it. It was our Halloween blaster battle of 2000, was it 2021? I forget. Maybe 22, I forget.
Hold on, now pause. This is the cliffhanger right there. That's the cliffhanger. More to be continued.
Right.
All right. We now have multiple
callers.
See if they can get the answer right. A caller. Let's see if they got the question right.
Dart Sweep will be the judge.
Hello.
Hi. My name is Benji. I'm from the Texas region, Corpus Christi region, running the Corpus Christi Nerf group.
Nice.
Nice, Benji.
Well, let's see if you can answer the question. What was the first blaster that Dart Sweep ran at the first war he went to?
So the first one he said was the Charger, but you said it wasn't the one he got from Target. So I'm going to say the Nemesis.
That was definitely one of them.
There you go.
Boom.
First caller.
We have a winner.
That's
I did have a question, though.
All right, hold on. Right. First off, you have won this. So then what I need you to do is send an email. Oh, he's registered on World Foam Alliance. How do we get his information?
Yep,
they got to DM us.
There you go, Benji.
Yeah,
send us an email or DM it, and we'll get it sorted out. That's awesome, brother. And I will be sending you to this. This is cool. Awesome. And what name are you registered under on the worldfoamalliance.org?
I think it's under SAMSON 7180.
Damn,
I hope
all right,
someone
there we
wrote
go.
that down.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be us. Someone's got it over there. I'm pretty sure.
If nothing else, we can look it up. This thing's
Yeah,
exactly.
We'll just do what everyone
recorded.
else did to find the answer and just scroll back on the screen.
Anyways,
all right. What's your question?
He'll tell you. He'll tell you.
That's
My
right. All right,
question.
go ahead, brother.
Yeah. So I've been watching Dart Sweeps videos quite a lot recently. I love how the way you do your like recap footage.
Oh, thanks, man.
The question is like, are you the kind of person that if you do watch like nerfing content, like Nerf battle content, do you prefer the more like recap, like say you do a whole month of footage, or do you prefer game by game footage?
That's a great question. It really depends. You know, I think my approach is a little bit different than most people, because most people do gameplay footage and it's just POV and they just let the camera run and that's their edit. And sometimes they'll put hit markers and kill death ratios and everything on that, which I used to do. But I think I've evolved into trying to focus less on myself as a player and focus more on the people playing and showcasing what they're using and how much fun they're having. The first Nerf videos, I'll be honest, I remember seeing were Aaron Essers and PDKs and their kind of Nerf War videos, which, you know, are a lot of fun and everything. And, you know, at the time I didn't realize that there actually are like actual Nerf wars and people doing gameplay footage very similar to airsoft and paintball. But when I did find that, that's when I kind of saw these kind of raw edits of people just POV, straight cam footage playing. And then I saw Bradley Phillips do his videos. And I don't know if you know this, but he actually changes his play style to get those kind of shots. It's probably not typical of how most of us would play, but he's very steady, he's very direct and everything like that. So I try to adapt that a little bit into what I was doing as far as capturing footage of my gameplay. But at a certain point, I was like, no one really wants to see someone, you know, at least in my opinion, watch someone run around for 5 minutes and, you know, hide behind cover and not have any engagement. So I started basically just chopping up the parts that I thought were interesting, that I thought people would enjoy watching without losing their attention span. But yeah, no, I like it. It depends on the presentation. So I think Talanax Armory has done some pretty great recap videos that I enjoy watching. But yeah, I don't know. With gameplay footage, it's tough because there's only so much like walking around and not much happening going on that I can personally watch. So I really kind of like the highlight videos where everything's just kind of quick cuts and montage together and just showcasing a lot of the blasters being used and how much fun everyone's having. So
or
have you watched many of Brett's older gameplay footage?
Yeah, so Brett's got really fun because I think a lot of that has to do with the commentary also of what he's saying. He's very witty. Yeah, so that's a lot of it. I don't have that. I don't have that personality, unfortunately, just because of my competitive nature. It's more. You'll hear me curse more than anything from out of frustration. But yeah, Brett's got some fantastic gameplay footage, and there are a lot of really good gameplay footage out there. You know, Gyroscope's got some pretty good gameplay footage. Boomstick Mod has some pretty fun gameplay footage, but I think that's what makes Brett's watchable, is that it's fun to watch because he has that persona and he's having fun with it, and you can tell that in his edits. So
also, does it help your footage when you're filming people during gameplay and all of a sudden they turn and actually promote ads about the World Foam Alliance and everything else as you're trying to film?
It does, and that clip will be coming to you soon.
You know, oddly, it had never occurred to me to film at like my events or Borst, and rather than first person gameplay footage like I've tried to do and am lousy at doing, making it basically an advertisement for the fact that we have a club.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's never occurred to me to do it that way. Of here's what we do on the weekend. Here's what it is. Here's what we're doing at Borst. Come join the fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I mean, when you guys come down to whenever you guys come down to Maryland and you do our events, or I join you guys, you guys provide fantastic content that I can actually use, and it's a lot of fun to see you guys coordinate and take it seriously. But you guys are having fun. You're playing these characters. It's just a lot of fun to capture that, and that's really what I try to focus on is capturing how much fun people are having with this. So, when was the first time we met? Was it Maryland? Was it UMBC? It was Maryland Mayhem, the first one, or was it? That's a great question. Yeah, I don't think it was actually Mayhem. It was it was UMBC Invitational. Yeah, that was it. And we had our 11th hour blaster battle, and I remember everyone was fanboying you, and I was like, oh, I don't want to be that guy, so I'll just stay over here. Hey, I got to run Titan Ball, man. And then at some point I was like, can I get a selfie, please?
This is true. Oh, yeah, so cliffhanger. So then, how do we meet?
Oh, yeah, going back to how we met. We're just talking about how everyone met. So just randomly at the beginning of DMV Nerfers, you had messaged me saying, hey, I really like what you're doing, and I would like to come out to one of your events. Is it cool if I show up? And I was kind of like, who, me? And you're like, yeah, dude. I was like, okay. And of course, you get this all the time. Your first impression is like, oh, Al's this big, mean, tough guy, and, he means business or whatever. And then you show up to the event, and you're just like the friendliest guy. Another friendly guy I've met that's, a big teddy bear, and just hanging out and just having fun. And that's how we met. But, we also sort of quasi-work together as well a little bit. I do some live streaming for your church as well, so we've gotten to know each other through that as well. So,
well, it's like I told him. I bring Andrew to anytime I go to cons and stuff like that. I've introduced him to con life and just let him, because the man is great at what he does. He does this for a living with the camera, with filming and stuff like that. If you've seen his footage, it's awesome. So I love it when he can come with me, because then he films spots for me. But at the same time, it's like, dude, just go film whatever you want. And like I said, he could film like a pile of dog crap, and still somehow it'd be fun and interesting because he's just that talented. So I've loved it.
It's a skill. It's a skill.
It really is. And it's kind of like same thing when Andrew comes over and helps me out. I was like, pick whatever you want, take it home. And so it's kind of not monetary, but at the same time, whatever he needs, I give it to him. And notice he's got a pretty set of shoulder pads, and I'll probably have to give him something else anyways after. Not because
I'm trying to get your Harrier.
Yeah, I know that. No, that one I'm keeping. That will get someone else to send you one. Anyways, I think we got a caller. Maybe we should answer the phone.
We got a caller? Let's take a call. We got time.
Hello, folks. It's KT of Family Foam Sport and Foam News Collective. How are y'all doing?
KT, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, KT?
Good to talk to y'all. Hope you're having a good evening, enjoying watching the show and hanging out with everybody. I kind of wanted to get y'all's thoughts on something that has been coming up a lot around, especially with American Foam stepping away from making content. It seems like a lot of the people who are stepping away specifically from the YouTube game are people who are doing a lot of reviews, and I think the review grind is starting to kind of get to people. I know that for me, ever since I started doing the news, I feel like I'm contributing to the community more. I'm making content that I just feel better about. And I've made a lot less stuff on my other channel because a lot of that was sort of review oriented. And all of y'all make really great content that's mostly not reviews. I just wonder if y'all had any, I don't have a specific question. I just wondered if y'all had any thoughts about that. I feel like that's kind of a pattern that's been happening in our hobby lately.
So I
had the exact same feeling. I got burnt out doing non-nerf reviews. I reviewed 13 different flashlights for through night. Why? What am I doing? And it was, when it was one flashlight, I don't have a good tactical flashlight.
You were getting
a
flashlights. That's what you were doing, man.
And then every week the guy would email me, I got a new one. Do you want it? And I'm like, oh, sure, why not? And eventually I was just like, no, I've got enough. I'm sorry. I don't want any more of your flashlights. And I've started finally getting back to doing the things that I like doing. I did recently an episode of Diagnostic and Repair. I hadn't done one of those in forever. I've got 2 more that I'm going to be doing that are kind of a commission. They were custom builds by Mr. Heath Pants. That had since gotten, they were early builds that he did, and back when he wasn't doing all 3D printed stuff, and so they're a little rough. There's like stuff that's hot glued together that should not be hot glued. It ought to be bolted or screwed or something.
That's a sign of love put into it.
Ayer's got more than a little hot glue in her. You have to use hot glue, but there's some places you should, and some places you shouldn't. Hot glue should never be used for anything that is, a load-bearing structure.
It's also
I definitely understood if all I was ever doing was here's a new blaster and here's how it shoots, and then the next week here's a new blaster and here's how it shoots. I'd have gotten real bored and real tired of it real quick too. I understand why American Foam got burnt out and why Coop got burnt out, and that wouldn't be what I would want my channel to be about. I want to get back to mod tips and building wacky stuff, and I would love to get more game footage. I'm lousy at it.
I think part of it, KT, with Foam News and just in general, I think anyone that creates content and tries to do it, be a Nerf tuber or whatever you want to call it, it's a lot of work. A, collecting the content, and then B, getting the time to sit down and actually edit it and get it the way that you want it to be presentable. Which is one of the reasons I kind of approach it the way I do, where I'm not really going for subs or views or anything. I'm just doing it because I enjoy it. It's fun. I'll do it when I get the time, and I just want to share it to whoever is willing to watch it. But if you're like American Foam and Coop and you have monetary value and you're relying on that, and you have a schedule where you got deadlines and you got to get this content out regularly scheduled, it's a lot of work. And I can completely understand how burnout could happen.
So much sense to me.
Go ahead, KT.
That's the thing is I really especially want to hear, especially like younger creators, hear you guys talking about that, because I see a lot of new people coming into the scene and being like, I'm doing a review. I'm reviewing like every blaster I have, and it's like, look at all the other cool stuff that you guys are doing, right? Where it's like Cap's videos on play styles and like the different kinds of people you can be at HVZs and like great gameplay content like we were just talking about. That stuff is so much more engaging, and I hope that these young creators dig into that stuff when they come into the scene.
Agreed.
It's exactly. As you notice, we haven't kicked you off the lawn yet because I love this, and this is actually a good thing that I wanted to talk about.
KT's cool also, so we're not kicking him off.
He really is, but it's a great conversation to have because this gets asked a lot, obviously, as people look at it. And we had this when I was out at the Pacific Northwest. Obviously, with a couple, you have a lot of YouTubers, and they all live in the same place for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it's magical. But anyways, we talked about that. Yeah, that's it. And we talked about it. And again, everyone touches upon the same thing. Now, at that point, American Foam hadn't stepped away, but we touched upon burnout and expectations. And so part of it is easy to fall in, I think, into that trap where it's like, all right, I love what I'm doing, but I can make money off this. But to make money off of this, I got to keep track of this. So then it becomes more business-like. Yeah. And when it becomes more business-like, that's when it can take it away. Like, for example, what I use, and it's kind of what in terms of what I do, obviously, my YouTube stuff is like I just throw up a lot of pictures. Everyone knows what I do, just because I have no time to edit video. But at the same token, in terms of what I do, I've had people ask me, well, what if you made a ton of them or like streamlined the process, and instead of making one master key, you make a bunch of them and therefore drive down cost and price? I said that would be great, but then again, it's now no longer doing what I'm doing, because at that point now I'm taking a product, figuring out how to mass produce it and sell it to people, which is its own completely separate entity, as opposed to, it would be cool sticking a long strike and attaching it to a long shot and make the biggest ridiculous thing ever. So again, the big thing that we always push is to tell people, in like anything, when people ask me, what should I make? What should I paint? What should I do? Stop. Make what you want to make. People want to see what you do. The best channels
the
are. The
passion that you put in comes through. That's what people want to watch it.
Do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And, Barrett's a great example of that. It's not one specific thing, but it's definitely him just providing commentary on what's going on, and it works. Another channel I really enjoy watching is Not Enough Nerf. I think that's a great presentation in the realm of providing reviews. But there is such thing as oversaturation and trying to figure out how to separate yourself from others as well. But yeah, I mean, I just feel like the goal should be, it should always be fun. You should do it because you enjoy doing it and not necessarily worry about how many views or try to monetize your videos. Just really have fun and try to share what you enjoy doing.
If you want to be a full-time YouTuber, it has to be a full-time job, and it is going to be very time-consuming, very difficult, very expensive to get started. You got to have good cameras, you got to have good lighting, you got to have good editing software. You have to have enough
so
content.
Many parts of the process that you are not going to enjoy, and you have to.
Most people and this is something that baffled me for the longest time, is talking to Wallcom and Coop and others who have really good video style. Their
production
quality is incredibly good. They spend 10 times as much time editing their video as they spent filming it. And my system is so streamlined and so primitive, and my production quality is so simple that I'll spend 15 minutes editing 3 hours of footage. Because that's the way I've built my videos. But they're not as glitzy, they're not as fancy, they don't draw the eye as much. But that's because a lot of mine are utilitarian videos. They're not meant for entertainment, they're meant to educate. How do you do this thing?
For sure.
If I was constantly shifting camera angles and zooming in and had lots of music playing, it would make it more difficult to understand what I'm actually talking about. And as you mentioned, being part of the news collective, it gives you the feeling of I'm adding to the community. I'm giving the community something. I'm providing a service, and that's how I always felt about things like Monday Mod Tips and Diagnostic and Repair and the Reassembly series that I did.
I tell people all the time about the Reassembly series. That is it's similar to how I was talking to someone about how in his time making reviews, Coop accidentally made probably the most complete archive of firing footage of stock blasters that are super consistent, accidentally in the course of it, just because of consistency. And those resources are really useful. I go back and refer to that and to your disassembly videos all the time because they're just useful stuff that helps the hobby. Someone comes into a Discord channel and is like, oh, I have my whatever blaster taken apart and I can't figure out how to put it back together. Let me link you to Captain Xavier's video from X number of years ago. And they can just
not a day goes by that I don't get somebody commenting on one of those disassembly videos going, thank you so much. I took it apart and put it back together. Because there's only most blasters, you can probably find a picture of the internals, but that doesn't help with the little weird fiddly spring thing that pops loose when you open the shell.
Right.
I want to get back to those ones that were next on the list were the Artemis and the Hades. Those are a beast to reassemble.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Go ahead, KT. What were you going to say, brother?
It's funny that you mentioned the news in that context, too, because doing the Foam News Collective show, we're starting to recognize, I think, that we're creating an archive of happenings over time, the same way that This Week in Nerf kind of did before us. And that is potentially a resource going forward. And talking about production value, this is something that we're always kind of trying to keep an eye on with our show, because it's important to us. If we want a lot of people to see our work, to some degree, we have to play the algorithm game. But the job is always to try to make sure that we're presenting the new, the core job is present it as accurately and cleanly as possible, because that is how we really benefit the hobby and help it to grow and to spread the word about things that people are doing. But we'll do that better if the show is entertaining, if the thumbnail grabs clicks and people actually see the video. So it's there's this balancing act. It's we don't want to go too far, because then we're not going to be having fun with it anymore. But if you don't go far enough,
delicate balance.
People just aren't going to see it. Yeah.
It is. So no, I love what you guys do, and it's great. And part of So on the same vein of terms of trying to mix it up or do something different, part of like why we do this live, it was just again because it was Maryland Mayhem and Captain Xavier was here and he was crashing at my place, and we said, you know what, we should just do a live stream because it'd be fun. Part of it, it was like, let's see how people react to us. But then also what we discovered, because we had so much fun doing it, the response was great, was the idea of sometimes, especially you see it at events, people want to talk to you, want to hang out with you, want to see what it's like. So this is kind of a new way of delivering the hobby to them instead of like, here's the next thing you should buy. Here's the next thing you shouldn't buy. I mean, those videos are great, but the way we're doing it is instead like, fine, you want to see what it's like hanging out with us, talking to us? This is why we're doing this format. It's live. This is real. We all three of us are actually like this in person. This is not an act. Trust me, I can barely keep my head on straight.
I'm a lot weirder, I promise.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, we're in a great way.
It's so good.
Thankfully,
I'm really glad that our hobby now has like multiple podcasts and live streams.
Yes.
And I think those things are so important. You know, Bots and Blasters was saying earlier, right? It's about like showing people what the community looks like. Every bit as much, if not more, as the gear.
Because
that's exactly what it is.
That's the reason I chose this hobby over various other shooting sport hobbies. It was the people.
Yes.
They're fun. They know that our hobby is silly, and they know that we're just here to have fun. Most of them, anyway.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, wait. Go ahead. No, finish your thoughts, Cap.
No, I've run out of thoughts.
No,
KT, again,
KT, I just want to say, I think you're.
Go ahead, Andrew.
I was just going to say, your content speaks for itself. Obviously, you filled a void that needed to be filled, and I think everyone appreciates that. And it's fantastic to, I know I look forward to the episodes when they come out, because where else are we going to get that kind of information in that presentation? Because
I just can't keep up with it anymore. There's just too much stuff. And so having it actually condensed into here's the new stuff. You're like, oh, good.
A lot of people have told us, a lot of people have told us that's kind of like they watch us because they know they don't have to like worry about catching up with stuff every single day because we're doing that for them.
Digging through 15 Facebook pages and 20 Discords and Reddit. Thank you.
But anyways, KT, glad you called in, brother. Again, it's been fun, but also plug it. Let us know where people can find you before we kick you off the lawn, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, of course. Foam News Collective on YouTube. You can search us out. We pop up. I think if you just search Nerf News, we're the top result now, which is kind of amazing. Or Foam News Collective. And from there, you can find all the host channels as well. We do our show every 2 weeks. We have 2 episodes left this year. We're going to take most of December off and release some recap episodes because nothing happens in December. It's cold. And we are going to, and we also do our podcast along with it, which is on podcasting platforms as well as YouTube now, which two out of 3 of you have been on, and it was a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Yeah,
we got to get you
on. Blast on. I was on.
There it is. KT, thanks again, brother. Graciously see yourself off my lawn, please.
Thanks for
always a pleasure, KT.
That's awesome. No, I think we touched upon some great things here. So again, everyone, when you're watching, don't forget to register worldfoamalliance.org. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please hit that like button. The more likes and the bigger we get, the more we can do for you.
Again, we need to get to 500 subscribers so we can do things like surveys and
500 is the magic number.
There's all kinds of features you get at 500. Tell your friends to subscribe just so that they can do surveys for like my range day videos, because it would be so much easier to do the poll on YouTube, but they have to have 500. We're like 20 short. Let's do this. By the end of this video, let's get 20 subscribers. Go find your friends, harass them, sign your dog up, your mother, your brother, your uncle, your nephew, your
neighbor,
your mammy.
I just realized we need to get Xavier a set of these shoulder pads so we can be triplets.
Oh, so what have I got that's close?
I am going to make him a set. I think now I'm at a point where I figured out what to do for him and make for it. For a while, I was kind of like a mental block. It's like make something that like fits. You know what I mean? That goes with the persona. Because he's not a wrestling fan. So he's not getting Legion of Doom. He's not a Raiders fan.
What, you just put on a jacket? So I'm going to ask a question for the live chat since we were talking about HVZ blasters. What is a silly HVZ blaster that you would like to run for HVZ? I was thinking the Stranger Things slingshot, personally.
Oh, the slingshot.
Ooh.
I think the bat would be hilarious.
The bat would be fun, too.
Well, who ran this? Because this thing is crap. But
I think my dog ball launcher bazooka loaded with foam brains would be.
Oh, that would be fun. I think I've seen that happen, actually.
Yes, and I think it was what's his name at PA Survival Fest. I think he had this one. I can't remember who it was. What's his name? Anyways, yeah.
I got to see Silver Fox and Brett both run that Mandalorian blaster on opposite teams in my arena in a single shot round. It was ridiculous. We were playing grenade ball, which is kind of like plant the flag, but you're planting grenades in your opponent's buckets. The grenades are viable throwables, but everyone can only have melee weapons and single shot blasters.
Oh, that's right. In the chat, Isaac ran his the Nerf Elite 2.0 Flip 32, and surprisingly, he did very well with it.
He was the last human in our Pinger HVZ. That was something I brought over from Europe, where everyone gets a stop clock, a stopwatch, a timer, and some of them have been set to go off. And if yours goes off, you're a zombie now. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, first game.
And
I was
they're
the
not
first
all
one.
set for the same time, so you'll think you'll be safe, and then suddenly, ping, you're a zombie. And since it's really close quarters, since it's in the arena, the way it works is when a zombie gets tagged, they are stunned in place for 5 seconds, and then they are immortal for 5 seconds.
Ooh.
So you just have to run.
Yes.
It's a very intense, very quick game of HVZ.
I guess running this would be kind of very challenging since it's hopeless, but it looks cool.
Well, that's fun.
The brain saw would be nifty. I mean, you got 8 shots. It's weird that it's not a shotgun. It fires all of one and then fires all of the other.
Are you allowed to
Captain, what are your thoughts on players, or what would you say to players that play HVZ, get tagged, but don't continue to play?
It's rude. And I'm an old man. I've done it when it's like there's 10 minutes left and I've been running all day and I'm just but in general it's inconsiderate because the other people played zombies so that you could play a human fighting zombies. You owe it to them to do the same. It's like picking up darts at the end of the day. If you help make the mess, you help clean it up. We can only play HVZ because other people are playing zombies. And so it's do your bit, do your share of the zombie playing, you know.
Yeah, and what's the saying? The game's not over. You're just joining the winning team sooner.
Most of the time, you're just joining the winning team, or you've become an NPC. You know, I've only seen a handful of games where the humans managed to win. I have seen a few, like Ragnarok Oktoberfest 2018. The humans managed to win, even though there wasn't supposed to be a human victory condition. WSU, there were a couple. I hear End War this year.
End War, there was. Yep, I was one of the surviving humans.
Yeah.
And
Not
come a
on
long way
purpose.
since his first battle.
In some games, there literally isn't intended to be a human victory condition,
Right.
and I don't have a problem with that as long as you know that up front. That's fine.
Yeah. I just wanted to get that PSA out there. If you get tagged, you're playing HVZ. The game's not over. You're just joining the winning team sooner and have fun.
And even if if you're tired and you're worn out, I've done this a couple of times
For
where
sure.
I just went as a shuffler. I just staggered around. I made no effort to actually tag anyone. I just soaked up a couple of darts because I'd shot a whole lot of people with darts that day. I deserved to get shot a few myself.
For sure.
It's part of the game. Because if there's no zombies, it's just a bunch of people walking around a college campus for a couple of hours armed to the teeth with Nerf blasters, which is a little weird.
But I love it because it's weird. All right, gentlemen, it's about that time.
It is. Time flew.
It does.
It
But
does.
before we leave, Andrew, it's like you got a show on this YouTube channel, and it's like coming up on Wednesday, and you have a guest or something like that. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, so very excited. Next Wednesday on the Foam Zone, we will be having Bots and Blasters. So it should be a very exciting and very, very informative episode. So 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, streaming live on the World Foam Alliance YouTube channel. Hope to see you guys there.
And also, Cap, what do you got tomorrow? What can people look forward to tomorrow?
Hopefully there will be a range day. It unfortunately, like I said, hasn't stopped raining for like a week. And so I haven't been able to actually get one filmed on the range. So I will come up with something here in the shop. I've got some fun blasters I want to plink with. I want to compare these two kits. I might try to get my momentum fixed so that I can run it. I'll put some darts through the bolter because people keep asking about it. I'll check the survey and see what people actually voted for. I don't know if the survey ever got put up. I'll check. Anyway, the range. I'll be flinging some foam. I'll make a video where I shoot some stuff into
pew pew
out of stuff.
I
could get my pew pews. I do have pew pews.
Yes, you do.
I like matching pairs of pistols. It's a thing. I've been waiting for a second Meowser forever. The OFP was going to send me a bunch of stuff, and then they went and had a child or something. Apparently, those things take up time.
Oh gosh, how dare they?
The nerve. Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you for joining the Get Off My Lawn with myself.
Get off my lawn!
Captain Xavier and Andrew Dart Sweet. Our next episode will be 2 Wednesdays for now, because obviously the upcoming Wednesday is Foam Zone. The Wednesday after that is Get Off My Lawn. We may make it a second attempt to have Maritime Foam on with us, but we will let you know so we can talk about all the crazy things we got up to in the Pacific Northwest and all the things we got to use. If you haven't subscribed yet, I don't know why you haven't, but you can do it now. WorldFoamAlliance.org. Don't forget to go register and subscribe. Also, this YouTube channel. Get us to 500. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Share it with your friends. Tell people to subscribe. We want to get to 500 and higher. The more we get, the more we can do for you. Don't forget to like the video as well. Tell your friends. Tell everybody. Other than that,
get off my lawn.
That's about it. Until next time, much love to everyone. Stay safe, play safe, do all the safe stuff, have fun, blah, 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 you know. But get off my lawn. Until next time. Thanks, everybody.
Get off our lawn.